to this week's Fireside Chat with Jesse. I am joined today by Stephanie Taylor, founder and president of Broadfit Financial. Thanks for joining me, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on here. I apologize in advance for my raspy voice, yelling the last 2 or 3 days at the Blue Jays, in their stadium. Thankfully, we got to watch them win. So this is a good issue to have for me.
That's right. That's
I
an acceptable.
I have no voice nonetheless, but we're still going to plow
It's an
through
acceptable reason.
So, Stephanie, for those individuals in equipment finance who haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, do you mind just kind of introducing yourself and career to date?
Yeah, I've been in the equipment finance space since '08 when I started working for a manufacturer in the fitness industry. And after about 7 or 8 years, I went to work on the bank side and was there for about 7, almost 8 years. But prior to that, I had been teetering back and forth between fitness and finance since the early 90s. And was able to get out of the finance world right before the implosion of the markets in April of '08 and started in the equipment finance side, which is a lot less stressful. And I love what I do. I love working with the health and wellness, sports and fitness industry and supporting them in a way that I don't find is commonplace in this space.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to say 2008 I wonder for equipment finance companies who were in that particular marketplace, health and wellness, with some of the gyms, like, proposed gyms that were being built and then they stopped. It was an interesting time for sure.
Feel it in the same way that I would have if I were in the mortgage industry. And
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair.
yeah, so equipment finance, I was like, this is a
So
piece
much
of
better.
cake compared to what the amount of stress that we were dealing with and the challenges.
Sure. Thank you for that introduction. I'm going to go to the next question here. Would you mind just kind of introducing Broadfit Financial?
Yeah, so Broadfit Financial is something I've been thinking about starting for probably 5, 6 years, and finally had enough in about 4 years ago, and decided it was time to do this without the handcuffs on, as I felt first, a lot of my previous experiences in this space. And, I just had a vision of being able to support the industry honestly, clean, above board, and without all the red tape that comes with working on, well, I guess for other people. And we could create our own, credit criteria and what we know based on our experience, what works, what doesn't, what market segments perform and what don't, and how to properly support the space and as it evolves into different modalities such as wellness and longevity, and not just treadmills and bikes and whatnot. So Broad, the name came from, a couple different places, New York, Broad Street, but then also started thinking about, wide ranging. But for those with a sense of humor, I'm the Broad. And that's really what that was representing to us internally, and to all my friends who like a good laugh. And then fit is for fitness, and financial speaks for itself.
I don't know if I want to touch that one. It's fantastic. Thank you for that. So, the types of assets that you specialize in, you mentioned exercise equipment. Let's talk about some of the newer stuff that might be out there from a health and wellness perspective that that you kind of see.
We, our markets are, from my experience on the finance side of it, they're so collateral focused. But what I would love to see is them be more customer, like the credit focused on who the
Sure.
actual guarantors are. But for assets, it's obviously everything that goes into a facility. And these days, it's pretty industry standard to offer wellness and longevity modalities as part of a membership to a facility. Or if you're at a hotel, you have to offer spas and wellness and whatnot. So our space has evolved to include like the hyperbaric chambers and the cryo chambers and uh, a lot of red light therapy and uh, the contrast therapy is very popular right now and will continue to be from the hot cold plunge and the saunas and um, variety of these types of offerings are previously been an add-on to your membership, but now are just pretty standard expected from your members that you should have that or they're going to go down the street where it's part of their membership. But our market segments are what I'd rather focus on because, to a credit committee, because that's really, there's just so many different modalities that are being adopted as an offering for so many of our customers. And I don't mean just like a for-profit gym. I mean, like corporate wellness is pretty big right now and just growing. Country clubs and offering, all the amenities, residential. I don't know what it's like where you live, but where I am, every community is in an HOA, and an HOA better have a pretty nice gym. I mean, I'm in Boca area, so the gym, but better have all the amenities, or they're going to
Sure.
go to another community that offers pretty nice amenities. They try to make them, like almost like spa-like at these communities and apartments and things like that.
Sure.
So
Sure. Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I know we have like a augmented wellness, like a brick and mortar location. I mean, there's gyms, but then you have like these specialty, um, companies that are coming in to retail locations. That's kind of what they're offering. Is the cryo.
yeah, and they're merging. So wellness and fitness are merging into, you'll start to see, they call them third spaces now, from the home and the workplace to the third space, which is now the fitness center. Like younger people today are steering away from traditional ways of meeting and engaging, like at a bar, and they're meeting at third spaces, which are the wellness center, which is the gym, or they do the saunas together and the jacuzzis together, and this is very popular and becoming more so since people are starting to take more interest in their health and uh, and these alternative healing modalities as opposed to
Yeah,
like through traditional medicine.
it's fine.
And because we have a loneliness epidemic, an obesity epidemic, we have health issues. So these third spaces, as they're called, are just becoming really popular. And
It's fantastic. And I'm sure there's better decision making at third spaces than meeting people at bars, but we don't need to go there.
this is actually becoming a place where people are meeting to date. And this is where you hang out with your friends. And it's very
Sure.
interesting. It's different than my time, but I think it's really cool. And to me,
I wish I had the time to go to a third space. That'd be amazing. We know
Jesse,
how I can do
you
that.
and I can go in a sauna together and we can see what's happening in these spaces. It sounds pretty interesting. But it's cool. Anyways, I think the number is an $8 trillion globally, $8 trillion industry. And
Wow.
domestically, I just read the stats. I think it's several billion, but I can't remember exactly. But this industry is only growing and it's not
Yeah.
going away. And it's funny, when I started working in Canada years ago, a couple of years ago, maybe 10, the Canadian markets weren't supporting financing the fitness industry because they thought it was a fad and it was gonna go away, and they didn't understand it. And of course, now it is. They know now, and, they've
Yeah,
opened up their
yeah,
markets to support this space, but it's just so funny that people that hold the purse strings were actually thinking that health and wellness was a passing interest for society. But COVID really turned a lot of people into health advocates.
sure. That's and these
Fascinating.
I'm just gonna call them ads. It sound like more sound, but they're
Wait,
almost
say
like
that again.
I'm just gonna call these like cryo chambers, some of these massage things that you get from different gyms. Like these different therapies are more, like you said, they're like not the exception, they're almost the norm
Yeah.
because there's more people have it. It's like, no, I'm gonna go spend a little bit more here because I value what those, that type of, I guess, therapy does to my body compared to
A
just,
lot of recovery and
yeah,
yeah,
recovery is huge.
yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you for sharing that. Now, I also think of some of those things. So it's red light therapy, not like tanning stuff, is completely different than what you guys
No,
do.
no.
What tanning bed in the back, right? I mean, that's sort of wellness.
I haven't seen a tanning bed. No, the red light therapy is.
I'm
Oh,
just messing. It's
I'm
like
like,
more
do
of
you
a,
tan, Jesse?
oh yeah, yeah. I also have self-praying hair. Yeah, I use that thing for that too.
You could use red light therapy for hair follicle stimulation.
Where to go with the
Big
this thing
supporter.
is what it is at this
All
point.
right.
So 2021, relatability. I mean, not being able to travel in COVID kind of made me do some reflecting too on, do I really want to work for other people, or do I just want to double down on myself and go? So I definitely understand that position that you were in. But starting up, I mean, while it sounds great, I love your entrepreneurial spirit. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. So talk me through that startup process, if you don't mind, Stephanie. You know,
Yeah,
it's only been 4 years, so lessons learned, kind of just
well, we're
walk me through that.
actually in year 3, but I
Okay.
spent over a year preparing and researching and studying and learning about the nuances, the pitfalls, when we started, I was like, we were completely ready to go. There was no all the kinks have been ironed out, in terms of we have personality tests, which have been the predictive index, which were wonderful. And they really helped us make sure that we didn't have same personalities in different roles, because that wasn't going to work. We had to have
Okay.
completely, like, an operations manager, Corinne Feldman. She's unbelievable. She's a completely different personality than our sales guy, Michael Grant, who is everything that you would think of for a salesperson. He's hysterical, and he's smart, and he's engaging, and he's uh, really has the heart to help
Sure.
and support people. Whereas Corinne is very operationally accustomed, and that's her personality. So by making sure that we didn't duplicate, it wasn't going to work if we had duplicated personalities and in other seats on the bus. And of course, I'm referring to from good to great, and making sure that you have the right people on the bus, and then before you can go forward. So
Sure.
um, that was critical to, uh, so we didn't have a lot of issues with the team and who was responsible for which roles, and marketing, and the CFO, and so on. Um, and then we had customized Salesforce the whole year before we opened. So that was ready to go out the gate. And we had our relationships and our programs, and everything was established. So I guess the only thing that sometimes I struggle with or wish I had was maybe more of like as somebody to talk to when I've questions or not sure about, this person or that. I really don't know that many people in the equipment finance space. So navigating relationships and who's doing what has definitely been something that I miss, but I've been incredibly fortunate with the relationships that we have and the people that have supported us through this, because most of my relationships are in the health and wellness world. So we've been set up well, and honestly, the best thing I could have ever done. We're so happy. So anyone looking to do it, just as long as you get your ducks in a row in advance, is complete freedom.
I didn't get that memo. I was just like, all right, now done.
Well, I've had people like, come on, let's do it already. I'm like, no, I got to set it up. I'm working on it. I don't want to be scrambling.
Maybe that's one of those man versus woman thing where it's
Maybe
just,
that was a
I,
man that said that.
hey, I'm sorry. I support everyone. I don't care what gender you are, but it's just one
Yeah.
of those things where I think that's phenomenal that you did that, because then it's so much easier, I guess. And you
Yeah,
still
it's
have
been
growing
smooth.
pains, of course,
Well,
but
we don't do any outbound. All of our business is inbound. We do zero outbounding. And we've been profitable since month one. We've never struggled with uh, business and uh, margins and income, and it's been almost 3 years in business. Our portfolio has had zero defaults, and I am told by those managing the portfolio that it performs flawlessly. So
very nice.
it's a great industry, and I'm just so glad to be a part of the health and wellness, sports and fitness space.
It's
And now
fantastic.
longevity.
So now I heard, besides you, two other team members. How many total people do you have?
We have marketing, CFO, operations, sales, credit, and then contract. So 6,
Okay.
if you, but we're small, and everybody's got their space. And
100%. And then geographically, you guys all over the country?
we all work remotely. Sales is in Charleston, South Carolina. Operations is in New York, and CFO is in Boca. Yeah. So we're all on the East Coast.
It's a CFO's dream, right? Boca. Let's go. Especially, were they from the Northeast originally?
New York.
Boca. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So 3 years, 6 people, dollar amount that you guys are at. I'm just trying to think of where you're at now compared to where you want to go.
We've already exceeded last year's. Is this what you mean? We've already exceeded last
Yeah.
year's volume by by a
Yeah,
lot.
it's fine.
And
I'm a very simple person. You don't have to give me just generic fine
sure
stuff.
what you're asking for.
Yeah, you've heard of it.
Every year over year, month over month, it's
Fantastic. It's good. If you had to do one thing differently, what would it be?
probably would have done this sooner.
Great answer, right? It's like, can't take back that.
You know what? You meet who you're supposed to meet when you're supposed to meet them. And so I have to trust in the greater plan that was at bay.
So, Stephanie, there's a lot of companies in equipment finance that consider themselves to be generalists, and then you have other organizations that like to specialize in certain industries and asset classes. People do this for obvious reasons, but from a Broadfit perspective, you guys are more specialized in just fitness equipment, fitness and wellness equipment. Is that correct?
Yeah, we are the only equipment finance company that exclusively serves the health and wellness, sports and fitness industry. We know it inside and out. We have all the relationships with decades of time spent in immersed in this world with these companies, and it was just time to start our own to better serve this industry and our friends in it. I really wanted to help my friends and that were out in the field and these companies that were supporting this space. And yeah, there is no other company that exclusively serves this industry. It seems to be like a sideshow or just like another division of a broader um, uh, company.
No, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, as I've seen different organizations throughout my, I guess, God, I sound really old, 2 decades now, where was there someone who just specialized in tanning beds. That was all they did. Like the names, like some company in Jersey. And I was like, wait, what? Like, walk me through that. How many of those out there? Like,
Yeah.
but I also see where you have those good vendor relationships. You have just, I guess, years of just experience in it. And that's where you
Yeah, we know
specialize.
it. We know it in a different level. We know it intimately, and we know it the people in it. We know what they're doing. We know how the resale process happens. We're very engaged in uh, appropriately pricing out residuals and accommodating end of lease moves. And yeah, we just know it like the back of our hands. So we feel really comfortable and confident in this space. And then educating credit committees on how to get comfortable assessing risk. And if there's no PG, which you're often not going to get with developers or residential communities, HOAs, apartments, complexes, country clubs, and so on, I have found that a lot of credit committees just have no idea how to evaluate these types of credits when there's no PG, which honestly, when it's not a for-profit, they're probably safer than the for-profit space that are reliant on memberships, you know, for a variety of reasons. But we go through and we help them and validate how they can get comfortable with uh, risk mitigation.
And then you mentioned like off lease inventory, so refurbishment or certification. I'm sure that's with some probably traditional like banks where they might be like, I don't know if I want to even touch that, but
We don't get involved. Yeah. We don't.
you have it down to almost a science
Yeah.
at this point in time. You know what to do because that's big, right? I mean, if you can extend the useful life of an asset, especially gym equipment or like some of these wellness things, that's awesome.
Rock was not involved in the end of lease. We manage all that. They're not picking up equipment, they're not storing it in their warehouse, they're not trying to find a used reseller or somebody to sell it to. That's not even that's never come up with me in 30 years. I've never had to deal with that. Because these manufacturers have authorized used equipment vendors that will purchase the used equipment for the put or the residual that's prefixed. It's a fixed amount. This is not open-ended.
Okay.
And they've agreed to it in advance of the term. So they pick it up and refurbish it and either sell it offshore or, sell it to domestically. But yeah, I've never had to deal with used equipment ending up in the bank's warehouse.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Makes those funding relationships that much easier.
Yeah. We've got it all taken care of.
So, next question I have for you is, throughout your career, have you had any mentors that have supported you along, kind of get you to where you're at today?
Yeah, I've had in my time in the I've been fortunate that there have almost always been somebody that's kind of taken an interest in supporting my advancement. And when I was in finance in California for 10 years. I was on a leadership committee. This was one of the largest publicly traded companies. I was kind of moved up the ladder and was running an office. I ended up in Northern California, but I was the first female manager in the company running one of 100 branches across the United States. We were the third most profitable branch in the company out of 7,000 employees. And because I had some people that saw something in me and gave me a chance, I was the first female manager there within the company. And then after that, when I got into the equipment finance, I've had some good bosses, I've had some terrible bosses, but most recently, I'll say Chip Hauser. He was previously at M2 Lease, has been one of the most influential figures in my career over the past probably 4 years, and has helped me significantly in setting up our company and structure, and has been a go-to of mine for advice and guidance. So I'm eternally grateful for him.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. It's just one of those questions I like to ask because, like, I've had a handful of mentors over my 20 years, and it's imperative for someone younger in this industry to reach out. If there's no one internally, find somebody externally. Come to me and ask, hey, this is what I'm doing. Who do you recommend I reach out to? It just helps that much.
Yeah, it's nice to have somebody to talk to.
All right, Stephanie, I ask everyone who comes on the program to give me a fun fact about themselves. So, what do you like to do outside of
Ooh, a fun fact. A fun fact, I'm a twin. We're polar opposites, though we're identical.
work?
I grew up abroad in Thailand and in England. And
Do you ever get to go back
yeah.
to Thailand? Not England. Come on, Thailand. Thailand is so beautiful. Food's so
พูดไทย
good.
ได้นิดหน่อย
Oh,
Oh,
well, you said about
yeah.
me, but whatever.
I love Asia. I love everything about Asia. My Asian friends
Yeah,
think my house has more Asian decor than their parents' house, and I have been told to tone it down. I
okay.
love Asia. Certified yoga instructor. I'm certified in feng shui, so I will assess your energy and let you know if
Oh
you're
boy.
aligned or not.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I need this.
I'll let
All
you
of a,
know at ELFA.
if all of a sudden you see like some dark cloud throughout you, so I don't know what's going on
I can't read your aura, but
there.
uh,
It's fantastic.
I like
Um,
to laugh, and I don't take life too seriously or myself.
Nothing wrong with that. It's a good skill to have.
Yeah, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
Oh, right. And my final question I have for you is, why should someone want to do business with Stephanie Taylor, Broadfit Financial?
My answer is that we are completely above board. There is no funny business. I don't like that. I don't participate in that. There's no, we're as clean as the day is long, and we are smooth, we are quick, and we're highly communicative. You will always know where you are at every stage. We're just running this like a well-oiled machine. And but there's, as my colleague likes to say, there's no shenanigans. We're not playing, we don't, which I find so common in this space. It's shocking. And I'm
Transparency,
not going to do
right?
that to my friends in the industry or anybody. I think that's, I just don't understand how that people think that's okay. But yeah, we're fully transparent. Anything you want to know, we're happy to explain, and we're not talking over your head. It is just simple, and we're not overcomplicating this. It's not rocket science here.
Fantastic. Well, Stephanie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time today. Hopefully our paths cross
Thanks.
next week in Marco.
Sawadika.
Uh, yeah,
I'm
thank you.
just kidding.
I can vow to, but hopefully that was PG-13. But yeah, so, appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.